So I know you've heard it. I've heard it. Every analyst I've heard this week has already given the Detroit Lions the victory. And that is what I want to talk about today. I want to talk to you about why the Steelers are exactly where they want to be. The Steelers are not supposed to win this game. But that's what makes this a dangerous game for Detroit. You know, it's crazy. Like in the sports world, whenever all these analysts are unified in their predictions, like football usually reminds us all that it cares nothing about our predictions. This is a blind reaction, but as you can see, as you're going to see, they're talking about who has the greater chance to win the division, us or the Ravens. So let's get right into it.
Uphill climb on Sunday, going against two of the league's best in the Patriots and the Lions. Steelers on the road against the Lions, and the Ravens at home against the who just lost for the first time in 10 games against the Bills. Steelers right now on top of the AFC North. They have a 64% chance to make the postseason. The Ravens, on the other hand, on the outside of the playoff picture, and they'll have just a 23% chance to reach the playoffs with an L this weekend. Which AFC North team do we have more faith in to get it done this weekend? Pittsburgh or Baltimore? We're going to go around the horn here.
I believe both have an uphill battle, and even as a Steelers fan and a former Steeler, I have more faith in the Ravens. I think
There's no fucking way you just said that, bro. You just said as a Steelers fan, you have more faith in the Ravens? I mean, you can say whatever you want to say as a former Steelers player, because obviously I'm not a former Steelers player, but you inserted in there as well as a Steeler fan. No Steeler fan will ever admit what you just said or say what you just said. That is blasphemous, especially when it's not even warranted. It's not even warranted to make a statement like that. Because we have the better record. We're sitting in first place. And if we're going by analytics, which all of these analysts seem to love, they go by analytics over everything else. 68% to 38%. And you're saying as a Steeler fan, you got more faith in Baltimore. Ryan Clark, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, bruh.
These games are being played matters. I think the ability to run the football against the New England Patriots matters. And I don't believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers in Detroit, in that dome, will have what it takes defensively to go win that game. So I have to pick the Ravens.
Stephen A. Smith can't wait to chime in. You know what I'm saying? He's the number one Pittsburgh Steeler hater that's a fan. I don't understand it. You don't understand it. But that's what he is.
In this.
Yeah, I'm with the Ravens, too. This is about matchups for me. I just think that Detroit Lions offense is a terrible matchup.
I feel like people be telling her what to say. Because some of the shit she be talking about, I'm like, bro, who told you to say that? Who told you to say that? It's about matchups. Let's talk about the matchups.
For Pittsburgh. We just watched the Steelers defense stop Miami in cold weather. That's great. The Lions' run game is more similar, I would say, in some ways to what the Bills were able to do in terms of imposing their will. Think about all those Lions skill players and how good they are blocking, and then remember the Steelers DBs getting thrown off the ball against Buffalo. Whereas when I look at New England versus Baltimore, I share a lot of Ryan's sentiments. The running game in Baltimore, I think, is starting to come alive a little bit, and the run defense in New England has gone way downhill over the last few
Do
weeks.
you think Patriots are going to lose 2 in a row?
It's not about them losing. You ask a question who I had more faith in.
I think they got a better shot.
Exactly.
It has to be about them losing to some degree, because you're saying that the Ravens are going to beat them. So, in this instance, two things cannot be true. Like, either you think they're going to beat the Patriots, or the Patriots are not going to lose 2 games in a row. Two things cannot be true in this instance. You got to make a decision. And I feel like a lot of these analysts, they dance around questions. They try to give these, like, you know, half in, half out predictions. So that way they could be like, well, I said this. Like, they're not saying, like, you know, what they think. They, oh, well, you know, I got more faith in the Ravens, but analytics say, you know, Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win the division. But I got more faith in the Ravens. So if the Steelers win, they could be like, well, analytics said Steelers were going to win. If they don't get in, well, I told you I have more faith in Baltimore. Like, it is really just, it's senseless, man. And that's why I've kind of given up on these shows. It's a waste of time. Like, as a Steelers fan, like, why would I want to watch your programming when all you do is talk down on my team? Like, I don't think they've had much positive things to say about Pittsburgh this season. They've had way more positive things to say about Baltimore. They've given Baltimore way more like leeway and excuses in terms of why they're not doing good. It's always an excuse. It's never, oh man, they got their ass whooped. It's, oh man, well, you know, oh man, well, this and well, that. Like, bro, like, when we beat them, like, they was literally making excuses for Baltimore as to why they lost, not including the catch. Like, miss me with that. I'm not interested. I'm not subscribing to this. This is a waste of time as a Steelers fan. You got somebody on the panel that won a Super Bowl with the Steelers, that says he's still a Steelers fan. Last week he was acting all goofy on the set. You know what I'm saying? Before they played the Dolphins, you know. Oh, I'm home, baby. You know, I'm at the Steelers. You know, all right, cool. Then carry that when you're not in Pittsburgh. It's like you're in Pittsburgh, you putting on a show because you used to play there or something. Miss me with that, man. Like, you cannot be a Steelers fan saying I got more faith in Baltimore. I don't know any Steelers fan that has ever said they have more faith in Baltimore. Ever. Like, and just like I don't expect any Baltimore fan to say I got more faith in Pittsburgh. That doesn't make any sense. But you're on national television talking this nonsense.
For that reason.
And old girl didn't say nothing. Like, she didn't say nothing. And they trying to push this Mina Kimes girl to be like this high football IQ, you know what I'm saying, personality, and that's not her. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can look up analytics and say it on camera and sound confident and act like they know what they talking about and don't know nothing.
That's why I have some trepidation about the Ravens, but they'd still be my... Exactly. For that reason...
Ask a question who I had more.
Yeah, I think they got a better shot.
Exactly. For that reason, that's why I have some trepidation about the Ravens, but they'd still be my answer to this question because I like them better at home than Pittsburgh on the road in Detroit, especially against that brother Gibbs, who is a...
You're talking about one game. This one game does not give Baltimore the division. Okay? If I'm not mistaken, I think they still got to play the Packers. We got the same record. We have the tiebreakers because we have more wins in the division. We still win the division. What are we talking about? So basically they saying is Baltimore is going to have a better record than us when it's all said and done for this season. So it sounds like they don't even have us winning a game. Because that's what would have to happen. We would have to like lose if Baltimore. Hold on, excuse me. They might have us winning a game. They might have us winning the Browns if they was to ask these people, if they was to ask them, hey, what team you think Steelers gonna win? They probably they'll beat the Browns, but they ain't gonna beat nobody else. It sounds like they think we're gonna lose to the Lions and the Ravens, and it sounds like they're picking the Ravens to beat the Patriots. But my thing is, they still got to play the Packers, and if we're talking about it's a gauntlet for that last game of the season, that's not going to be a pushover game. That's not going to be a pushover game. So, and that's in Pittsburgh. So, I don't know. It's what Stephen A. used to say. That is blasphemous. A lot of this stuff is blasphemous, yo.
Aching to get off. He's always aching.
And he had a tough week last week. The Rams did a really good job.
Can't see it happen to him 2 weeks in a row.
It's Baltimore. But here's my question with Baltimore, too. Like, not only this weekend, can you get out of your own way?
Yeah.
Like, Baltimore has, I agree, the run.
Here we come with the excuses. I told you, they always give them excuses. They never got beat. People don't beat them. They beat themselves.
Game has been better, and so that'll matter versus Pittsburgh. But there's also moments where I'm like, God bless, can we catch the football?
Yes.
Can the right guard block someone? Lamar, can you play on time a little bit more consistently? And like that's where I'm at this point with Baltimore. They look so odd and so different from what they were last year. And
it's unanimous that everybody has picked them to win the division? Does that make sense to you? You're sitting here pointing out everything that's wrong with Baltimore, but you're still picking Baltimore over Pittsburgh. When the analytics tell you you should be picking Pittsburgh. Like, I've never seen a hate the way these people hate Pittsburgh. I really have not. They want to see us fail so bad. And even when we do good, they make excuses for the other team as to why we won.
There's why there's a lot of us still hanging on Baltimore, because we know what they're capable of if they'll just get out of their own way and stop hurting themselves.
One thing I did find encouraging, it's the Bengals defense, etc. Lamar looked better running, I thought, this last week.
He did.
He seems like he is getting more comfortable weeks removed from the hamstring injury. I expect the Patriots to play a decent amount of man coverage, so there will be opportunities for him to scramble.
And I feel like you've seen that.
Yeah, they ain't saying shit. It's just usual mumbo jumbo. I just, it's tiresome as a Steelers fan to even want to entertain the idea of watching these shows. You know what I'm saying? Which is why their ratings suck. This is why they're trying so drastically to get viewers, because it's like they only talk about the same. Even when Baltimore's having a trash year, they still hyping up Baltimore. Like, who cares? They're having a bad year. We know what their potential is. It's just like somebody you know in your regular life. I know this person's better than this, but this person has shown me over and over that they're not going to do right. Move on. Move on. Baltimore's had a chance to win a ring for like the last 5 or 6 years, and they have done nothing with it. Yet, and still, these people come on the air every single day. They do this 5 days a week. Get on the air every day, hyping up Baltimore. I mean, they repeating the same talking points, talking about the same stuff. Like, bro, don't nobody care. Don't nobody care, man. And it's trash. It's trash, man.
Of news. Well, actually, we may have news coming up. We know when he won't be back. We don't know when he will actually be back after having
TJ
partially collapsed lung after a dry needling treatment at the Steelers facility. He did miss, obviously, the team's Monday night win over the Dolphins. We are going right to the source. Our Steelers reporter, Brooke Pryor, for the very latest on his status against the Lions on Sunday.
That's right, Hannah. TJ Watt is out on Sunday against the Lions, but the good news is that he was at practice today.
So, TJ being out this week really hurts us. Herbig is dealing with an injury, which is why the Steelers just signed Jeremiah Moon. That's probably one of the better options you would have at this point in the season, at this juncture. They got him up off the Carolina Panthers practice squad or something like that. So let's hope he can come in, and we seem to have been doing pretty good with these free agents, man. MVS looking good, Adam Thielen looking good, Asante Samuel's looking good. Hopefully, Jeremiah Moon can be the latest acquisition that looks good that came in off of free agency. You dig?
He didn't participate, but he was there watching on. And a day earlier, he was, as you can see right there, at the team facility for the Pittsburgh Symphony's visit. They performed for the rookies. I'm sure RC knows all about
RC
the rookies.
is over here
got
clapping.
to participate with them.
Yes.
No word on if TJ played the trumpet or trombone, but I'm going to guess probably not. They did get some good injury news though. While Watt is out and Nick Herbig is doubtful.
Okay.
Derek Harmon will be on the field.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
big,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we
Big
need that.
Stopper, rookie,
Yeah.
first-round defensive tackle, even better.
Yeah. Let's go, Derek. Let's go, baby. We need you, yo. Like, we was looking like just bad against the run. But when they put the rookie in there, man, the run defense instantly got better. And I think his first week was against the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, Yeah, that's major. That's major. So even with TJ and Nick out, we get a major piece back. We can put Keanu in different spots and let him do what he does best, as far as like penetrating the offensive line, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's big. That's big. TJ being out is big. But I told y'all, I already said it in my previous video. Like when I heard what happened, like in that day, and the reports were coming out, like what happening, as far as speculation and being similar to the Tyrod Taylor situation. He was out 4 weeks. I said, don't be surprised if TJ misses the rest of the season. Showing him in the practice facility, sitting on the couch laughing, that don't mean nothing. Like he can still miss the rest of the season. He could miss this week and he could miss next week. He might be making back for the Ravens game, but yeah, I don't anticipate seeing TJ until like either that Ravens game or the playoffs. And I say the playoffs because I'm optimistic that we can handle business and do what we need to do to where week 18, we already locked in. We already good. We got the division locked in. We got our playoff spot locked in. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just playing spoiler for the Ravens. That's what I anticipate for week 18. If they want to give TJ some game time reps, nothing crazy, you know what I'm saying? A rep here, a rep there, a rep, over there, like, cool. But us in our all out, like, just gloves off, like, dog fight, man, please, I'm not looking forward to seeing that again this year. Please just win these games. Please win these games. Play to the potential that we know you are. Compete, please.
He's from Detroit, and he has played at Ford Field,
Nice.
Little League Championship, and in high school. And he said he's won some of those games too.
Homecoming for the Rook. He probably got like 30 tickets. Hey, man, he going to want to play good for his people. Hey, man, Derek Harmon, let's get it, baby. Let's have a good homecoming for you, bro.
So he has a good record there.
I mean, listen, they need all the help they can get stopping the run, all right? And he has made a difference when he's been in the game. Another guy who we have noticed a big difference in the last couple of weeks, and I don't know if, bringing MVS and Adam Thielen aboard has had much to do with this, but Aaron Rodgers and the offense has been lighting it up. What are they saying in the facility about that?
Yeah, they definitely have been. And Aaron Rodgers said that all of that goes back to practice. And he said the easiest way to make these December games easier, honestly, is to make games like practice and practice like games. And he said that he has noticed an uptick in the execution and the energy in practice throughout the week. That's been crucial. And he also added that there's been more professionalism in the offense since adding.
They keep using that word. What was Roman Wilson doing? I want to know what Roman Wilson was doing, because he said it and they keep bringing it up. He said that the wide receiver room is more professional. I need to know what Roman Wilson was doing. That's just wild to me. That's wild to me. But to the other point, there's been an uptick. They're making practice more like games, so that way when they get in game time situations, it's muscle memory. So my thing with that is Adam Thielen and MVS. Well, MVS know what it is from playing with Rodgers before. Adam Thielen, he know what it is from being one of the top wide receivers in the league at one point. So they know what it takes to win. And so, man, you putting all these minds together, all these just workhorses together, people who know how to win, people who have a high skill set at their positions, people that can, take criticism, they can give criticism, and that aspect, you do need to be professional. So, when you talk about bringing all that stuff together, man, the results are already showing to be great for us, and I just, looking at this picture right here, Detroit, they talk about Detroit like, man, it's Detroit. Detroit ain't what they was last year or the year before. They are not that team. People talk down on Pittsburgh right now. Oh man, they 8-6, man. They ain't doing nothing, man. They 8-6. Guess who else is 8-6? The Detroit Lions are 8-6. Once again, another example of nobody giving us a chance because we're 8-6. Oh, they're 8-6, man. They ain't not a good team. They are unanimously picking Detroit, who's also 8-6. Make that make sense. That is nothing more than pure hate, man. It's just pure hate, man. Pure hate.
Thielen and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I don't think that's necessarily a shot at any of the other receivers, but those guys are vets who've been in the league a long time. They know all about December football. That's really elevated things, and the run game really got going in the win against the Dolphins, particularly with Kenny Gainwell, Jalen Warren coming in there. They've got that duo figured out. So there's going to be 4 really good running backs on the field on Sunday, maybe a little bit of a running back duel.
Yeah, and I was there at the Steelers facility following that Buffalo loss, and I asked Cam Hayward, when Aaron Rodgers called out his receivers, how does that kind of thing land in the Steelers locker room? He said that was perfect for us. We're all about accountability. That's the way Tomlin talks, and he said that lit a fire.
I did a reaction video on that as well, and when he said that, honestly, instantly, boom, I was like, man, we haven't had that. Man, we haven't. Shoot. I remember before we lost Le'Veon and AB, Ben and AB fell out. That beef from Ben and AB happened because Ben said AB ran the wrong route. So we've been having accountability issues going back to like 2018, yo. It's been like to see the guys that's able to like just, it don't even gotta be gentle, just call guys out and guys be like, you right, and respond, have a positive response to that criticism. It's such a breath of fresh air. I 1000% believe in that being an effective thing for you to succeed in sport and in life. You have to be able to receive constructive criticism. You have to be able to give criticism, in an objective manner. You know what I mean? So, I know people, they hit, I can't stand Rodgers because he calls the guys out. Good! That's what he's supposed to do. We don't got time to wait till you get to the sideline to look at the little pad. Like, see here, right here. Nah, dude. You're supposed to run that right there. In the moment. We need active correction in the moment. We can't wait for the tablets. I need to show you right here, right now. And we can still go do the tablets. But in that moment, if somebody misses a blocking assignment, just like when Jalen Warren against the Bengals, it's like a flea flicker or whatever that play was, and he completely like messed that play up or whatever. Bro, in that moment, you messed up. Don't be in your feelings, because what I've seen is guys call Aaron Rodgers out too and hold him accountable, and he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. We haven't had that. You couldn't hold Kenny Pickett, didn't respond well to criticism. I don't think Mitch Trubisky even cared about criticism because his gameplay did not improve. And so, you couldn't criticize GP. You couldn't criticize Deontay. He dropping passes all over the place. They were talking about the Ravens earlier dropping passes. Deontay was dropping passes left and right. Couldn't say nothing about it. Steelers fans was going to war in the chats. How dare you say something about Deontay? He's dropping passes. Oh, tell me you don't watch the Steelers without I don't care how many yards receiving he got. Imagine if he caught most of those passes that came his way. GP, imagine if he caught passes and didn't get personal fouls after the play is over. How much better we would have been in certain games in certain moments. But nah, you couldn't hold those guys accountable. You couldn't critique those guys. They get in their feelings. They wouldn't block next play, whatever. I'm taking this play off. Like, that's trash. That is trash. I am happy to see us have a level of accountability in the locker room again. Because if you can call out Aaron Rodgers, if you can call out Cam Hayward, if you can call out TJ Watt, DK Metcalf, then guess who else you can call out? Everybody else is in that locker room. There's nobody off limits. No one is off limits. And I think you're seeing a a great result of, like, we talked about the Bills game and how bad they look. They've responded well since that Bills game. So I think a lot of that has to do with this said accountability that's in the locker room now.
All right, Neil, on the other side of this one, the Lions are fighting to stay in the playoff race. Now, according to ESPN Analytics, the Lions have a 46% chance to make it with a win over the Steelers, just a 16% chance with a loss.
It's about to be 16 in, baby. It's about to be 16. They ain't winning this game. I really think, people underestimate how good the Steelers play when they don't give them a chance. Hey, man, you're doing us a favor. I think people don't understand, like, when all these betting odds and all this other stuff be going up and everybody picked the other team, guess what? About to be a timeless special that day, baby. Real talk.
The Lions, by the way, haven't made 3 straight playoff appearances since, the early 90s. From
Sounds like they ain't about to make 3 straight playoff appearances then.
93 to 95. So, Dan the Man, how do you think they're going to look to attack? We already talked about that running game, that Steelers defense.
Yeah, I would throw it early downs. I don't think, if there's no TJ Watt to Brooks Report and potentially no Nate Herbig, I don't think this pass rush can get out.
Not Nate Herbig, Nick Herbig. Get your personnel right, bruh. See, that's why you run out the back of that end zone. You talking all this cash money shit, but when you was a quarterback, you was out there running for your life in the Detroit Lions uniform. You're one of the reasons why the Detroit Lions wasn't making the playoffs. Out here talking this cash money like you was Joe Montana or somebody, bro. We ain't trying to hear that.
After Jared Goff in this offensive pass game, and the fact that right now Jared Goff isn't in the playoffs is a sin. He's having a fantastic year.
Why are they 8-6 then? Like, bro, all this you talking about? But now you about to go on this whole glaze of Jared Goff and how good of a year he's having. You talked about how good their defense is. You talked about how good their run game is. Why are they 8-6? Why are they 8-6 if they're that good? Why are they 8-6? You just finding reasons to compliment everyone but the Pittsburgh Steelers. But guess what? The Steelers been making y'all eat crow all year. Even going back to last year, you've been saying the Steelers supposed to come in last place for a couple years now. You've been saying the Steelers supposed to have a losing record for a couple years now. And not only are the Steelers not in last place, but the Steelers keep getting winning records. The fans, we like, whatever. It's a winning season. They don't do nothing for us. But they're proving you wrong at the same time. They're proving you wrong at the same time, yo.
5, just about everything. He lit this Rams defense up not only a week ago and threw it all around. And I would throw on early downs versus this Pittsburgh defense that, even though they were coming off of a very good performance against Tua and the Miami offense, you could see that there were throws there in windows that Tua just didn't see and or get the football to. If I'm Detroit, I want to lean heavily on throwing those in-breaking play-action passes on early downs and create those chunks to play.
So you said that they're going to destroy us through the run game, but you're telling us that the key to them being successful is to throw on early downs. That's a contradicting statement within itself. You're going to do one or the other. You either going to run because you got one of the best running back duos in the league, or you're going to try to attack us through the air. I don't see them. I don't think they're going to do both. Early downs, I think they're going to try to run the ball, get short yard situations, and then hit that play action pass. I don't know how you do the play action pass without having a strong or solid run game. There's nothing to bite on. If you're not handing it off, if you're going series, if you're a couple series in and you're not handing the ball off, what good is a play action? I think the Lions will 1,000% try to run the ball down our throats unless we get like some kind of cushion as far as the score goes, and then they have to abandon that, and then they will probably attack through the air. And they will probably get some, if we're up, let's say best case scenario, Steelers are up or whatever. If we're up, I think they get garbage time points just like everybody else gets garbage time points, and it makes it look a lot closer of a game than what it really was. So, yeah, that game plan is stupid. Just like him playing quarterback in the National Football League. Trash.
Players like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there, especially if Pittsburgh sells out to stop the run and they get a lot of...
Why would they sell out to stop the run if they're not running the ball? If they're not running the ball, what are you selling out to stop? That makes no sense. Our schemes are bad, but they're not that bad. They're not selling out to stop something that's not happening. And with Derek Harmon coming back, they're not going to have to do that much selling out because he's a good run stopper. We got Duggar and other guys that are really good against stopping the run from a secondary perspective. The play action only works because the run game is going crazy. Baltimore did it for years with Ray Rice and other guys as well throughout the years. They get the run game going, and then they can sell out that play action. And because they've been tearing you up on the run game, now you're going all in to stop that run. But if they're not doing that, they're not selling out to stop something that they're not doing. Who told you to say that? Somebody told you to say that. I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out who told her to say that dumb shit, because that was dumb.
Derek Harmon being back is really helpful. When you go back to the way the Bills ran on them, duo, weak side zone, going after those corners, the Lions, skill players, block just as good, if not better. And that, to me, is a mismatch that really favors Detroit. So, I think both, honestly, through the air and on the ground, there are ways for Detroit to have a lot of success in this one, but they're going to have to feel out how Pittsburgh plays them and whether they sell out to stop the run.
Like, they keep harping on this Buffalo Bills game, and I have no problem with they're saying, yes, the Steelers got the ball. It was a historic game. It was a game. No team has ran the ball like that on the Steelers since the 70s. Since the 70s. So, yeah, yes, the game happened. And like I said before, it happened. But what have they done since? You said to some degree they shut it down against the Dolphins game. All right, cool. But since that Buffalo Bills game, the Steelers have 1,000% responded in the way that you would want a team to respond if they're trying to compete for something. So that's all I'm saying. Like, you can keep harping on the past and what happened, and they can beat the Lions on Sunday, and they'll come back and be like, in the playoffs, oh well, this happened in the Buffalo, and who cares? Are we playing the Buffalo Bills this week? No, it's a different team. Different team, different situation. We'll worry about that down the road if it comes up again. But they're leaning on the fact that we had a bad game. All right, cool. Lions lost 6 games. And what of those 6 games can we exploit them? That hasn't even been talked about. It hasn't even been brought up, the fact that they got 6 losses too. They didn't just look undefeatable or superior in those 6 losses. They lost games. It happens. No one's undefeated. You will take losses. The only thing I care about is them looking competitive when they lose.
I think both, honestly, through the air and on the ground, there are ways for Detroit to have a lot of success in this one, but they're going to have to feel out how Pittsburgh plays them and whether they sell out to stop the run.
Yeah, you also have to think, what is Terrell Austin, the defensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers, going to do to fill some of those gaps of the missing players, right? How are you going to get pressure? You think about early on this season, we started to see Patrick Queen more involved in some of the pressures on third down, and they were a team that would go man-to-man. Do they really believe that they can cover Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, and J-Mo Williams one-on-one? And you look at this Detroit team, when Jahmyr Gibbs doesn't have a great game or when he isn't impactful, that next game they're always extremely intentional about getting the football into his hands in space. And so you
could use that against him.
Because they're starting to form patterns. They starting to do the same things over and over again. They're predictable. It's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. But thanks for the information. Terrell Austin, you listening? I feel like Ryan Clark trying to show you some love. He trying to help you out. When in games where they don't hit my man, the next game they locked in on him. That can actually hurt you. You got to be unpredictable. You can't be, I didn't get DK involved, for 2 weeks. All right, this week, and that was part of our problem. This week, I'm trying to force everything in DK's way. When you got guys open on the other side of the football field, you got guys open across the middle. Nothing has been said about the ability for Pittsburgh. These last 2 weeks, they have attacked the middle of the football field. Nothing has even been said about that. It's just glazing everything Detroit. It's just glazing everything Detroit. It's sickening. It really is.
We could not watch film, right, and come in here every week and say, hey, guys, Jahmyr Gibbs is a big matchup. But I do believe this week, if you aren't going to get some of that pressure from the Herbigs and the TJ Watts that you're used to, they're going to have to add to the rush. So they're going to give.
If they're getting the ball out fast anyway, that neutralizes pass rushes. If they're getting the ball out on those screen passes, what we just saw right there, pass rush don't mean nothing. The ball is gone in 2 seconds. Nick Herbig, I'm saying Nate because of freaking Orlovsky, Nick Herbig and TJ Watt, only thing they can do at that point is turn and try to get an angle and try to get a tackle. That's it. There's nothing they can do in that situation.
Jahmyr Gibbs opportunities one-on-one in space, and there's no running back better than him at catching the football and making those plays go from 5-yard catches to 80-yard gains.
I hear everything you're saying. And as we look at our picks, I guess that's why you're leaving me hanging on the Steelers right off.
Man, what's up? Hey, Hannah. Hey, yo, Brewski on me, man. Yeah, Hannah the only real one up that joint, man. Me and Ryan and Dan all picked the Lions. Yo, Hannah, you a real one. We appreciate you. My biggest thing is Lions got 6 wins too. And there's nobody saying anything negative about the Lions whatsoever. They didn't say one negative thing about the Lions on any segment. Nothing negative was said about the Lions. Nothing. Like, it's just absolutely insane. Yes, we have flaws. Yes, we have weaknesses. But if you listen to this, they make it seem like Lions ain't got no weaknesses. We got the same record. Difference is we first place in our division. They're third place. They trying to scratch and claw to get a playoff spot. We're fourth in the conference, first in our division. They on the outside looking in. What more motivation do you need? Ain't nobody trying to pick you. Ain't nobody showing you no kind of love. Ain't nobody even saying, oh man, they might have turned things around for the better. You know what I'm saying? That Buffalo Bills game might have woke them up. They're not going to say it until the playoffs. And even when they say it, they're going to be like, but it's the playoffs now. All that stuff is done. It don't mean nothing now. You can count them out. You can doubt them. You can bet against them. Just don't be surprised when the underdogs bite back. The Steelers may go into Detroit underdogs, but if the Steelers can pull this one out, they are going to leave Detroit a problem. It's your boy Boomin', and I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Peace.
Booming in the evening, booming in the morning, 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 booming in the evening, booming in the morning.
What it is segment, Antonio Brown. Welcome to greatness. How's business? Business is booming.
Who was the best cornerback you ever played against?
I'm still looking for him.
Damn!
And do you feel like you owe anybody in the NFL an apology?
I think I owe the whole NFL apology and my past behavior.
Love me, oh baby, love me.